We have a pretty diverse community, the Muslim American community. It's every ethnicity, it's every race. There's the African American community, which I feel is often forgotten, and I'm glad to see them here in big numbers. And we have a really broad-based South Asian community. The Pakistani community is very big, and you can find them. They probably started a Dunkin' Donuts somewhere over there. Closely, and then there's a large Iranian American community, which I believe brings a lot of diversity of view to the Iranian community, which I think because of the geopolitics gets heavily maligned as a people. And we have that resource here in South Florida, and we rely on them quite a bit. We also have a strong Egyptian American community, which with what's going on right now, we stand in solidarity with that community. And they may protest us later today, I'm not sure, we'll see. And we also have a lot of Muslim Americans who are from the Hispanics communities collectively, and they're also represented here tonight. So we have a very broad community here in South Florida that comprises that umbrella of Muslim Americans. I wanted to lead into what we're trying to do here in South Florida, which is to create institutions. Institutions that are here not just for those Muslim Americans, but are here to serve everyone. If you kind of look at the history of how the Muslim American community has grown over the last 30 years, we spent the 60s and 70s for the most part building religious institutions. And then the 80s and into the 90s, we worked on creating educational institutions. And in the last decade or so, we have worked on creating civic institutions. Institutions that support civic society and support social society. Not just within the Muslim American community, but abroad as well. And that is what we're going to talk about here a little bit in the next few minutes. One of the organizations here in South Florida is UHI. Universal Heritage Medical Clinic is a nonprofit. It's essentially a free clinic set up by the Muslim American community, but it services those who are financially in need of medical assistance but can't afford it. We have a clinic set up in the Miami Gardens area. It's been around for a very long time and has increasingly serviced more and more people. It is all completely volunteer run. We have a volunteer base of physicians, and it has been doing a wide range of services from x-rays and scans to, as you can see on the screen, we've been doing everything from basic health care to pediatrics and OBGYN. It is truly an organization that, if you look at the idea of the Islamic value of charity and helping your fellow man, it defines that principle. This is a short DVD from UHI.
Hello, and welcome to the UHI Medical Clinic, serving the communities of Miami-Dade and Broward counties. The clinic, located at 4851 Miami Gardens Drive in Miami, is local to families. After 3 years of hard work, dedication, and through the contributions of many doctors, nurses, and volunteers, the clinic opened its doors in April 2008. Let's go inside and take a look at the clinic. From concept to reality, the hard work seems to have paid off. The lobby is spacious and offers a comfortable waiting area for the patients with appointments. The clinic has 3 fully equipped examination rooms, an on-duty doctor's office, a patient records room, a reception area and admin offices, and a lab room to draw blood.
I've been in practice since 1998. I have privileges in local hospital, Jackson North Hospital, North Shore Hospital, Memorial Regional Hospital, and Memorial Miramar Hospital. We are very pleased to see the progress and flourish. We have gone from 2 to 3 days in a week. We plan to open 5 days a week as we get more resources. With the limited resources and hour, we have seen more than 450 patients this year and hope to see more as the time goes by and we get more resources. We perform physical exam, we monitor blood pressure, we do EKG in the office, we draw the blood and send it to Quest Diagnostic, and through digital medical diagnostic, we send the patient for ultrasonography, MRI, CT scan, and other neurology testings.
It has been my passion to give back to the community. When UHI Medical Clinic became a reality, I joined in to offer my services. I focus on preventive care, management of diabetes, hypertension, lipid disorder, management of obesity, and women's health issues.
The UHI Medical Clinic has been founded, funded, and nurtured through the tireless efforts of South Florida's Muslim community.
We have experience, for me and my mom when we come to the clinic and to see, the way the people, welcome us and the service that we receive, it has been a great experience. Because this is a place that we didn't know existed. When we find out that, we suddenly be glad to let people know that there is a place for you that take care of this sick and give good service.
Well, it took us 3 years to build the clinic, and now about a year and a half we're in the business. What keeps us going is 30 plus volunteers, with doctors, nurses, and the volunteer staff which dedicated their service to the clinic.
According to the Miami Herald, Mayor of Miami Gardens, Shirley Gibson said, "I think it's one of those efforts where all community members realize that it takes all of us to make a difference. I am pleased UHI Medical Clinic is engaging one of the critical areas, which is healthcare. Medical Clinic, please call 305-342-8303.
The board and the directors of the clinic to please stand if they're able. Their lawyers stood up. Their lawyers should stand up for that. The Crescent Chamber of Commerce. Good friends of mine because I'm part of that group. This organization has been established primarily to try to find a way to mobilize the many businesses and great services that the Muslim American community has under one umbrella for the purposes of both working within themselves more efficiently, but also for being able to provide services to the greater South Florida society in a more effective way. And this organization is one that has worked to try to increase the educational base of folks who are looking to try to maybe get small business loans, folks who are trying to get more involved and grow their businesses. And in this particular economic environment that we're in, this organization has become extremely relevant. It has worked to promote businesses in the professional community, not just in the Muslim community, but throughout Florida. It's worked heavily with elected officials at all levels of government, creating relationships that have connected business with service for that community, bringing a business into a community that needs those jobs. And it's also worked very tirelessly, really, to highlight the contributions of the Muslim professionals here in South Florida, which we feel often go unrecognized. The members are a broad spectrum, both business owners, professionals, and many who there's a huge group of young folks coming into the Crescent Chamber who are using it as an excellent networking tool and finding jobs, finding internships, finding placement for their future careers. The business leadership and educational workshops that have been held have been valuable, not just in the Muslim community, but have been attended by others outside the community. And it's also been a great tool in this day and age for businesses who have been working to lower their overhead by getting their purchasing power combined for a more effective and cost savings that they can translate to their clients. Moving forward, the Chamber is working to further diversify itself to try to increase not just from within the Muslim community, but from outside the Muslim community. And it has its long-term goals over the next year or two to work to increase its exposure and its services through a better website interaction, and to work on outreach efforts to other local chambers of commerce and business groups. I would like at this point the members of the Chamber, Crescent Chamber, to please stand. This time the lawyer didn't stand up. The North Center and Sahara. This is a gem-valuable services that our community collectively provides. The North Center for Women seeks to provide a safe place for women and children who might be in distress. It allows an honorable solution to marital disputes and problems that work within our cultural and maybe religious conditions to still provide a fair resolution and safety for all parties. It is also something that allows this community to address an issue that is prevalent in all communities, including within the Muslim American community, which is that of domestic violence. The North Center was established to provide dignified housing to the abused and distressed in our community, but it also provides those services outside the Muslim community. It has enabled victims to achieve economic independence and empowerment. It's also worked to help provide inspiration to those to be able to work through their problems and find a way to move forward in a time of difficulty. The goal of the center, essentially, is to empower women. It uses different tools to do so: psychological counseling, personal development, job training, vocational training. Of course, it also has a certain amount of community involvement. It's trying to integrate and make sure that the community is there to support these individuals and is not turning their back on these individuals due to some of the problems that they may be facing. And of course, it's working on creating independent living skills. It's a way to find a path forward where maybe you couldn't see that path if you were on your own. It's one of the lovely accommodations. And as you can see, fully kitchen. The North Center achieves these goals using all of the other contacts and institutions the community has at its disposal. Sahara is an organization that provides psychological and mental health needs, not just for the North Center, but for the community, the South Florida community at large. Of course, they also access the resources of the Crescent Chamber, other county agencies, and one of the interesting things is that we've also been able to tap into educators and business folks in the community to help find jobs for folks who are in the North Center. Well, clearly those who need this facility are within our community, but they're also outside the community. There are sisters, there are daughters, they are, at times, our mothers. And if we don't stand up for them, no one else will. So